What is up, and welcome in to the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-host. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon Wolverine legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers. Back in the day, he was all SWAC, and he's now the head coach at Simeon Career Academy for their baseball team, the Wolverines. He is Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we've got our NFL draft analyst. You can catch all his work at NBC Sports Chicago. You can catch him on the Under Center podcast, Football Night in Chicago, the online
this
version.
Thursday?
Are you on this Thursday?
I'll be on this Thursday. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right before the Bears, baby.
I told you.
I'll be at the game.
Nice. He is Glenn Morgan. He's our GM. Gentlemen, it's been a while since we've been on it. The last time we were on, what was it, two Mondays ago?
No, it was last week.
Was it? Oh, last Monday.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
yeah. That was the week. It was that before.
All right.
It gets confusing when your team can't ever win a game. It just seems like Groundhog's Day.
That's what it is. But a lot of stuff has happened since our last appearance here on the podcast. Before we get to the Saints game, big trade happened. Everyone knows about Montez Sweat. Traded from the Washington Commanders to the Bears for a second-round pick. I think we were all screaming. We were screaming on this podcast. The Bears needed a pass rush. Alex Brown was adamant about why the Bears hadn't gone after a pass rusher on the post-game show after who they played before the Saints? The Chargers game, yeah, the Sunday night game. And they went out and got them a pass rusher. The question is, would you have spent that second round pick for Montez Sweat? I like the player. I don't know if I would have spent the draft capital for him.
I mean, hey, look, we extended him.
That did happen quickly.
So it ain't like a Claypool situation. we gonna have to enjoy this second round pick for a few years because we ain't gonna just let him go.
Well, you know what? But the word out there is that they got a real good character guy, and so we're not gonna have to worry about what we did with Claypool.
Can he play, man?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Can he play up to that $98 million contract? Is he a good player because there were other good players around him? Kind of like Ottawadale Goonlier. He was really good when Jason Taylor was on the other side. When Ottawadale got here, he was just okay.
He was okay.
Like I said, he was just okay. Okay, it wasn't bad, but he wasn't a double-digit sack dude that he seemed to be or purported to be when he had somebody else on the other side. And that was just the opposite side of him. Montez had dudes all on that whole defensive line, so he wasn't seeing no kind of double teams.
They were all first-round picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
all four.
Yes, they were. So, yes, I agree with you. Character guy, I'm not worried about that. I don't doubt that he'll work hard. He displayed some athleticism and some agility on that when he tracked Taysom Hill down backside. We caught him from behind. I was like, oh, okay. All right, the dude's hustling. He's playing. But, his first team made those good first impressions. What happens when the Bears get into the system, he gets infected by the same bullshit and lack of playability that seems to affect all these players here. Then all of a sudden becomes an overpriced paid dude that we gave a second round pickup on. And then we start bemoaning that. It's like, then we say, who's can we trade him? How much is that dead cat money going to hurt us? Can we get out of contract sooner? I hope it doesn't happen. But my point is, we don't know that he can play to that contract yet. And for him to do so, he might need a few other dudes around him so he can be the best Montez he can be.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's just a wait and see game. I mean, it's simple as that. Wait and see. I think it was nothing to lose on our end. I mean, shit. Yes, the second round pick, we get it, but I mean,
Probably a high second round pick.
It's going to be somewhere between right at 3 and right at 7,
yeah, I mean,
conservatively.
what was Poles gonna get with that pick?
Well,
Question. I'm
that,
just saying. I mean, just
I'm
saying.
with you. I think it was. I think it was because I won't say he got burned, but I think last year they really would have wanted to draft the edge rusher, but we didn't have that second round pick. You know what I mean? And don't forget they moved up to get back in the second round to get Tariq Stevenson. So that second round pick is, top 40, top 50 pick can be definitely valuable. But I think Foles was like, look, I don't know if I'm going to still be able to get the edge rusher I want in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever I do get as an edge rusher, if that's what the pick that you use to get an edge rusher, if I do get that person in that second round, are they really going to be the quality that I need? Will they be better than the Montez Sweat who I can get now, who I don't have to fight for, who I can negotiate in good faith with now? I have a lot more control. And although a lot of leverage to some degree, people were saying Montez had against the Bears, I think Poles had a different type of way of looking at it, to where he was able to create more of a narrative for him and a team than he would have been able to when the draft happened. Because when the draft happens, man, I mean, we saw what happened last year. Houston did what they did and got two of the top 5 players in the draft. You know what I mean? Clearly, it's looking like 2 of the top 5 players in the draft now. With that kind of volatility, and you talking about later in the second round, you don't know what's going to be there. Here, he's probably saying, I can secure the edge rusher. I'm still going to go after another one, but I know I at least got one. And I know he's already going to be more accomplished and ahead of the game than any rookie I might get. So I think it was a reactive thing compared to what happened last year, not being able to get that edge rusher. That's why I think he went after Montez the way he did.
And possibly with 2 first round picks this year, you may trade down and get
second round pick.
That second round pick. So
probably not be high 30s, but you probably I agree with you. He's probably thinking like, you know what, I can recoup this second round pick at some point between 35 and 60.
But that means that he has to trade that one of those picks. Got to trade down.
Well, that's going to happen. Yeah.
You think so?
Unequivocally.
Even if number one doesn't show out in the last, what we have left, I'm going to assume he's going to miss the Thursday night game. He was limited today in practice.
I know.
He was limited. So
last week they ruled him out before they even practiced.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's a sign, but you're right though.
So we're 2-7 now, so we got 8 games left. You figure at best we split those 8 games. So you're talking at best we're looking at 6-11, which gets you, for the Bears pick, that gets you somewhere probably between 8 and 14, right? Okay. So the Carolina pick is the one that you're counting that there'd be a top 5 pick, and that's the one that you have to trade away. But your question is if that's the case.
If that's the case, then what if they're going for a quarterback?
They're going to have to use that.
Not saying I want another quarterback. I'm just saying that
there's a possibility they may use that first they can use a Carolina pick on a quarterback, because you're not going to get a quarterback per se, possibly, potentially down the line later on. You're going to want the Bears are going to probably want either Caleb Williams, Drake May, maybe Bo Nix if they're really feeling good about things or whatever.
That's disgusting.
Kind of. Michael Penix, who I do like, I think his injury history is going to scare teams off.
I'm not how I mean.
And he's not as
college football, but not in the program.
Put 52 up on USC. Not saying that USC has a great defense, but
they have a horrible defense. But this he had a great year last year. Like I don't know if you guys listened, and I'm not trying to throw shade at Leon, who comes on NBC Sports Chicago. He mentioned that Michael Penix is having a breakout year. I'm thinking like, see, that's what happens because we're in the Midwest. We don't know what's happening out west. But no, Michael Penix basically threw for more yards than anybody last year. That dude threw for almost 5,000 yards last year. So
I,
this is not his first year breaking that. Plus, he was really good at Indiana. He just had an injury history. So that's been his problem.
I will say I've watched more Pac-12 football this season than I think I have in my entire life.
I can agree.
It's
I
crazy.
can agree.
They play great football out west, and too bad. Number one, we didn't know this, but two, this is the last year of it.
Whoa, we who Kimosabi?
You were staying up watching Pac-12 football.
Dude, been watching Pac-12 football since I was a kid. Back when I'm sorry, I was watching Pac-10 football. That's how long I've been watching in the West. Dude,
Yeah, it was the
I,
Pac-10.
I enjoyed the Pac-10. Dude,
But
I was a big USC
I
fan
thought he
as a
was going
kid,
to say when it
bro.
was the Pac-8.
I remember the Big Eight. I don't really remember the Pac-8. I might have heard whispers of that when I was a child. Because I think was it Arizona State were the last two to join
I think
to
so.
make it to
Yeah,
Pac-10. Yeah, I think I was like a little smidgen of a kid when
yeah.
that happened. But yeah, for growing
That was
up,
that was just an old man joke. That's all.
ages. But no, I mean, granted, Pac-12 football, dude, and I'm going on a quick tangent, but generally most conferences, it was usually will boil down to like two or three teams anyway. The Big Ten was always the big two, Michigan, Ohio State. Every now and again, Iowa, Michigan State would show, possibly Purdue when I was a kid. Wisconsin later on became more significant in the 90s and the 2000s. But you look at the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 back in the day, it was USC and UCLA. Washington would show,
Arizona.
and every now and again, Arizona, or Arizona State, but no kind of sustainability to those schools. It was pretty much UCLA and USC. Same thing in the SEC. It was pretty much, Georgia, Alabama. But then later on, SEC became SEC. But my whole point being is that the Pac-12, they've always been offensive oriented, and a lot of quarterbacks who've been fed into the NFL have come from the Pac-12. Some of your more well-known quarterbacks have been Pac-12 quarterbacks. Washington's put out a lot of NFL quarterbacks. People just don't realize it. So they've been playing that kind of football out there. Defensively, not always known to be a defensive conference, kind of like we've seen the Big 12 become more of a pass-oriented offense. But to your point, this year the Pac-12 has been phenomenal. Great games, some interesting defensive stances here and there. I mean, not great defensive games, but making great defensive stances to win the game, type kind of stuff. And it's unfortunate because it looked like it could have been like it started to kind of go somewhere. But keep in mind, a lot of those quarterbacks in the Pac-12, they're all transfers.
Hmm.
Oregon
Yeah.
State, DJ Ugalele came from Clemson.
Clemson. Bo Nix.
Penix came from Indiana. Bo Nix came from Auburn.
Shedeur from Jackson State.
Shedeur from Jackson State.
Yes.
Caleb
Ward.
from Oklahoma.
That's right.
Caleb from Oklahoma. Ward, who plays at Washington State. I think he came from Houston or something like that. So a lot of those, and not that, but they're, these guys have been playing for a bit. So I think that's why we've seen such great play in the Pac-12 this year. That being said, a lot of those guys are leaving this year, so the Pac-12 might have just fallen on its face next year anyway. So we'll see. But back to the point though, what the Bears may do with that pick. That Carolina pick, if they're going to go quarterback, that's probably one they'll have to use. But to answer your question is, wherever the Bears pick is, that's the one they'd have to use to trade down so they can get some more pieces. I mean,
if they're not going to go quarterback.
No, I'm saying
if they're going to go quarterback.
Right, if they're going to go quarterback. Right. If they don't go quarterback,
then you're clearly trading that person.
Right, to get you more of a haul. And definitely a second round pick would be part of that haul in there. I think without a doubt. And that the Bears pick would be probably something that you want to plug and play kind of player. Might be wide receiver. You're not going to get Marvin Harrison, in the mid rounds or late, anywhere between 8 and 14, not going to get a Marvin Harrison, but you might get Rome Odunze from Washington. You might get Malik Neighbors from LSU. Keon Coleman, who's at Florida State, he probably definitely would be there. So there'll be receivers available who are some plug and play type kind of guys. There's a quarterback that might be there in the second round, though. If you get a high second round pick, or if you trade down far enough into the first round, he may climb up in there. And that's Jordan Travis at Florida State. He's having a really good year. He does a lot of really good things on the football field that you see that can project into the NFL. And he's been pretty consistent going forward. So there are a lot of quarterbacks coming out this year. I don't know if any one of them are going to be as good as C.J. Stroud or somewhere between, or even have some show like the kid from who's at Tennessee now with the Titans,
Will
Levis.
Levis.
Yeah, Levis has shown that it looks like he can at least be able to play, in the NFL going forward. But you know what, man? We've talked about it before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it until the cows come home and the cows leave and come home again. I don't care who your quarterback is for the most part. It really
Staff.
depends on the staff, man. Your
Yes.
roster helps, but that damn OC, man, they can break you in a lot of ways.
Well,
And
let's
that's
let's get on that with Tyson Bagent's performance. Well, the team's performance against the Saints on Sunday. I thought they moved the ball pretty well for two and a half quarters.
Yeah, 2.5 quarters, yeah.
And then the offense forgot how to play football.
How
And
does that?
the Saints tried their best to give the Bears that game, and
Tried
you
their
know
best.
turnovers, man.
Well,
Three picks for Bagent, the fumble by DJ
DJ.
Moore.
that was early though.
Baby.
That was early though.
But
Was the
it seemed
fumble
to sick.
that was
That
third
was in the
DJ
quarter.
first half.
That was
Wasn't it?
first
I thought
half.
that was the first half. The DJ,
Um,
do you remember Bagent got a strip fumble in the second half?
Right.
right,
That
that
was
was
in the
toward the end
fourth.
of the
Yeah.
game. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
before. I
I
think
thought I thought
DJ.
I thought
think
DJ was in
DJ's was in the
that was in the
first half.
third. Was
I
it
think it was
first?
in the third. I think it was in the
Oh,
third
third
quarter.
quarter, yeah.
Early third quarter, they were driving. It looked like the Bears picked up right
Anyway, it
where they
don't
left
matter.
off.
They turned the ball over. You can't do that.
Five turnovers. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
it's
can't do
bad.
that. And you get and as good as the defense played, they didn't get any. But shout out to the defense, man. They
Yeah.
kept the team in it, especially in that fourth quarter.
Did they
Getting
keep
big
them?
stops.
Did they keep us in it, or did the Saints keep us in it?
Well,
Dennis
A little bit of
Allen and
both.
his
they would,
bonehead
yeah.
decision. But as much as the whole Bagent mania deserves to take a hit, what was highlighted? Gessie's goddamn play calling was once again highlighted. It showed it's not who's back there. It's the damn coach. You had that boy on the move, doing all type of movement in the first half.
Right.
Second half, so it's not that our quarterbacks. Y'all just made it seem like it was Justin couldn't throw from the pocket. Bagent definitely can't throw from the pocket. So when you force him to not throw to his first read quick, and he had to wait, it was but you didn't put him on the move. You had him doing so much RPO action in the first half, rollouts, bootleg. I mean, had him on the move, and the offense looked phenomenal. But we've been saying that for our main guy when we do that, how the offense looks.
And it's more explosive when he does it.
Then you decide, okay, you know what? First off, you changed the game plan like we were down 3 scores. We were down 1 score for so long in that game. I'm like, bro, why did we just say forget running the ball? Like, what is going on here? You would have thought we were down 2 or 3 scores. We were down 1 score for so long. And like I say, the Saints just kept giving us opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And we just kept saying, okay, we got to get it down. We got to get it now. Like, we had so much time to run the clock, run the ball. Even in the last possession, that was when the last interception he threw that pretty much sealed it. I'm like, okay, we got about 3 minutes. We got tons of time. Let's go back to the offense. We was running early. Get a ball to the running back. Nope. We trying to get it all right there, then and there. Like, what is going on here? Like, this coaching staff is beyond me. Beyond me.
Yeah, what happens in the course of a game that makes you switch up something that's working? Are you second guessing yourself, thinking that they're going to adjust, so you're adjusting to an adjustment that you haven't really
Had to adjust
seen
to
yet?
yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you're right, dude. I think like is what Smoke said a lot of times. Sometimes these dudes got to be the smartest dudes in the room,
Yeah.
and they outsmarting themselves. Dude, I don't understand it because you said you was hitting it right on the head. Like, okay, so Bagent's doing the same offense that Justin's doing, but some of Justin's critics are like, he has to do this offense because he's not capable enough of
Yeah.
being able to read or be in the pocket. I'm like, no, he can't. And then I'm seeing Bagent in the pocket. I'm like, man, son, you hold on to the ball for a real long time.
Thank you. Thank you. I said it. I said it. Once he's a one read quick guy. Quick read. It gotta be the quickest read in the world. Once you take that away, oh shit. It's trouble. Now he might get rid of the ball better than Justin and not try
He
to hold it
does.
and be hero. I will give him that. But he get fidgety back there. And then when it's about to hit him, he let it go.
Well, what did he do a lot Sunday? He ran a lot, and they
Mhm.
weren't scheduled runs. He took off. I'm like, oh, you mean like the other guy that was doing the quarterback position? He just doesn't get as far upfield as fast, and he slides a lot sooner. But he ran for 70 fucking yards. He ran the ball like 8 times for 70 yards. And I don't think maybe one of them might have been a scheduled run. And then they showed that one graphic side by side of Justin and Bagent. It's the same damn numbers. Justin has one more. They both have one win. I think Justin was 1-5 this year, and then Bagent's what 1-3 or whatever it is. Oh, or at the time maybe 1-2 in the show.
It was said 1-1 because they
It was
only
1-1.
they didn't count the
Minnesota thing.
Minnesota game.
Right. So it was 1-1. And I'm like, and then but more importantly, the yards per pass were the same damn thing, and the points were basically the same. They just offered like a tenth of a decimal point, but the same damn thing. I'm like, so what is that telling you, everybody? It's the offense. It's not the players. And I'll say this, and I said it earlier in the year, and I haven't changed my tune about it. I thought the best coach or most consistent, by best I mean most consistent coaching department or unit all year has been the offensive line. They had to deal with a lot of injuries.
Well,
they were holding their blocks a lot this past 2 weeks. I'm not saying
he just got fired, which some other bullshit. But the running backs coaches was doing pretty good in my eyes.
Running back coaches doing good too. I mean, for the offense to not be scoring like it could be or whatever, the problems it's been having is, I'm like, it's not as much the offensive line and definitely the running game. It's how they're being utilized and what's being asked of them and reasonably being asked of them in lieu with everything else tied to it, i.e. your quarterbacking situation. And the Bears, ironically, are one of the better teams in the red zone. So you're good in the red zone. And I swear to God, dude, I'm watching the game because I didn't get to see all of it live, but I'm watching some of it. I'm watching live. I'm like, man, dude, you the ball pretty well. So I'm watching the guys run. I'm like, yeah, these are your third and fourth, fifth.
Right.
These are third and fourth, fifth
Third,
string
fourth
running backs.
back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and they're doing well. And I'm like, you mix in a little bit of bright. Now, the penalties are an issue, but I'm like, for all intents and purposes, they're moving people out the way. The running game is working. And even when they stop us behind because they sniff out a play, that's the NFL, it's going to happen. They'll come back and get 7 yards. I'm like, dude, what is the problem here? But I'll say this. Our shit goes from sugar to shit real quick, dude. Like once a mistake happens, somehow mentally we do not have the fortitude to keep the shit together. Because I know Bagent threw the one interception, I think, in the first half, right? Because it was the cover 2
quarter. It was first quarter.
Right. They had scored a touchdown with Komet, and then he was. I guess it felt good to him. He went back to Komet, and then underneath cornerback picked him off. Debo, I believe, picked him off. But we came back, ended up scoring later on.
Right after the next possession.
And I'm like, okay, all right, good comeback. And then they were looking good, consistent, good rhythm, blah, 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 blah. DJ Moore fumble happened, and it was just like, I don't know, I don't know what to do. Just and they just got worse and worse. And like when our shit goes bad, it don't just go bad; it goes bad.
Real bad. And I mean, it was credit the Saints. They made it look so bad because, like I say, Dennis Allen on the other side was trying to hand it to us, and we just kept fucking it up. It's this coaching is insane, man. It's insane, and I get it. Chicago is in an uproar with the two quarterbacks, who is who, but that game in itself showed you our quarterback situation is what it is. Justin, to most, is the one. Bagent is a solid backup. A solid backup. Like the guy can play football.
He's definitely on the top end of backups we've seen in my lifetime.
Yes.
Even with a 3 interception game under his belt.
But what we saw is the coaches are doing neither guy any favors. Any favors. Like
That's the my fault.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. That's the conundrum because we've talked about it before. Okay, if Eberflus is staying, who's going to be your OC if you get rid of the OC? What OC is going to come in here and not be certain how long the head coach is going to be here? Has to work with quarterbacks who are already here. That's if you don't change quarterbacks. Or if you do change quarterbacks, are you going to entrust this organization to do and try and nurture these guys to be NFL quarterbacks? And I don't know if you guys remember, I was talking about this earlier before the season began. It's like, look, the jury's going to be on this coaching staff. Because here's your opportunity, the coaching staff, and polls should be watching the coaching staff. Can you develop Justin? And can you
develop anybody?
Can you take a quarterback who hasn't been in the NFL and can you get him up to speed? Especially once Bagent looked like he was going to be the one that was going to probably be here. And the answer right now, I'm going to say is no. You're not. You have moments, but you're nothing in consistency, and it's so much so that nobody knows who your quarterback. No one feels comfortable or confident enough to say this is the quarterback going forward, even though clearly Justin has a higher ceiling. So even if you're polls and you use your first, you say we stick with the same where we at now, the second pick or the third pick overall. You draft a quarterback. How's this shit gonna be any different? It's gonna be you're gonna ruin somebody else. Or if I'm Caleb, motherfucker might just stay in school. He'd be like, nah, dog. I see what they're doing there. I'd rather take my chances with, I don't know, Arizona Cardinals or whoever you think might be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or whoever might be quarterback deficient, Minnesota Viking, whoever might be quarterback deficient. I'd rather take my chances. Broncos. Give me the Broncos in 2 years. Who's coach still there, right? Coach Payton's still there. All right, I'd rather be with him. So I don't know what the answer is, man. I'm scratching my head. I have no idea where this is going.
The first question is how long is Eberflus under contract at this point? I don't know if we know that answer.
This is right. This is the second year. This is the
second.
It feels like
Nagy had 1 year left, right? So we're done paying Nagy, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So
that's what it feels like. Eberflus has been here for 5 years, man. It's just been no damn stress.
We haven't even finished
been
2
a
yet.
Full 2.
Yeah.
And he need.
But I say that because let's say you stick with Eberflus going into year 3. All right. It depends on how long he has left. Does he have 2 years left? Was it a 4-year deal? Was it a 5-year deal? On whether or not he can get a quality offensive coordinator come in and say, okay, I can, because if it's only 2 years,
that's tough though. That's tough.
What I'm saying. If it's only if you only got 2 years left on that contract, it's gonna be hard to bring in a OC.
That's tough. My thing is
a real OC.
If you keep Eberflus, in my opinion, you have to keep Justin. You cannot keep that man and draft a quarterback. We cannot keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. If you're gonna keep him, you gotta keep Justin. And there's only one OC out there that I say he can go get because the league is kind of against him, and that's Greg Roman. That's the only OC, in my opinion, you can go get, and I think Greg Roman would take that job because they kind of put a negative outlook on Greg Roman because of Lamar Jackson and his playoff failures and him getting injured, even though him getting injured has always happened when he's in the pocket trying to throw the ball, not when he's running the ball. But they've always made it Greg's Roman's fault. So I think that's the only OC you can go get, in my opinion, that I think would take the job and I think will cater to Justin's strength, in my opinion. But if I just don't see a world where this guy I do. The Chicago Bears world. I do. Cause we do dumb shit. But in reality, that man has to be fired after this season, dog. It just like, how do he keep his job?
There's a lot of people out there that say the Sweat deal, the Sweat trade, sort of gave Eberflus job security. I don't know how true that is, but that's what the message. The message was that the defense is all right. So
I put it this way: if Bagent don't, if Justin don't play Thursday and Bagent play Thursday, we're gonna start seeing a different DJ Moore. We're gonna start seeing that character that I always talk about we need to see in Chicago. Cause that's the one player that ain't been looking like himself with Bagent at the quarterback.
I heard him, he was on the score on Monday and he played it he said all the right things,
Yeah, but now
I think he was asked something like, do you think you're they're playing you correctly? Are they using your skills correctly? He said, well, the team thing, and Komet had a good game, and Mooney almost had 100 yards, and blah, 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 it's like hey man, he said the right thing, but you might be right. It's interesting that
we need personality around here. Personality is what got Josh McDaniel ass out of goddamn Oakland. And we see them boys won the game and they popping champagne and smoking cigars.
Yeah.
Like like they done got rid of the Grinch. That stuff matters, man. And I just don't understand. We always seem to have the nice guys. Man, look, something got to shake.
Hey, Smoke, you had an issue with Alex Brown on Sunday's football after show. What was going on there?
He's Florida Gator. That's right there. You know, right there. That's issue number 1 and 2.
Well, my issue was, and it's an issue I'm seeing going around, and it's like 50-50 with the media in Chicago right now. It's like people are out on Justin. They don't want to flat out say it. And they want to provide every excuse in the world for Tyson Bagent. His stance was the things Tyson did wrong in this game are fixable. And he ain't, and my thing, what bothered me was Justin Fields hasn't played in 3 games now. Why do he have to take unnecessary shots? So you're critiquing Bagent, but you're saying if he ain't in year 3 making these mistakes. If by year 3 he making these mistakes, then we got a problem. Like don't counteract his mistakes with the guy who's on the bench right now because he's hurt. Like, critique the guy. He was effing up. Like, it's that simple. He did not play well. But everyone is providing every excuse in the world for him, giving those same excuses that they rebut for the other quarterback, the coaching, the offensive scheme, things of that nature only matters now to this guy when it go bad though. Because when it's working, it's look how well he operates the offense. This is the offense that Getsy and those guys wanted. This is who they preferred him running the offense until it go bad. Then it's what are they doing? Like it bothers me, man. It really does, and it just shows why we're in the state we're in. Because I watch the football after show every single day after a game, and Alex Brown's main stance has always been about winning. It's never been about yes, he wants the quarterback to perform well, but it's been about winning. When Justin Fields played the way he played against Denver, and then in the end we lost, it was about winning for him. It wasn't about he first 300-yard game. Man, I don't care about that. This is how he said, I don't care about that. Did we win the game? But then Sunday, for the other guy, he provides every excuse in the book on what he can see going forward, how he can improve. I just don't like that. I don't. To me, that screams you're out on a guy, and it screams you prefer a certain quarterback, even though the things you loved in that game is what the other quarterback does beyond greater than the kid that you're trying to praise.
Well, did we not do that for Justin too, though? Like his first full year starting, we made a lot of compensations for the fact that he wasn't doing with the offensive line, not blocking guys, not unveiling in terms of receivers. There's a reason he's holding on to the ball because, he has to. He's running because he has to. He's not staying and looking in the pocket and going to his reads because he doesn't have time to. He's lost faith in receivers because he can't trust them. They drop the ball when he finally does throw to them. I mean, we did make those allowances, for Justin. And so with Tyson, to be fair, his third game starting. So when Alex says, I'm not backing Alex, I'm sure I will say the same thing to some degree. When you make certain mistakes like that, you like to think, okay, that's correctable because you can learn from the mistake you do. What may be more difficult to correct is, if you see in ghosts, like Sam Darnold said, stuff like that. But to your point, there does seem to be a thing where it's like Tyson was being lauded over Justin. Like he does this way better. This is what, and then I hear things where gets his offense. I'm thinking like, dude, slow your roll here. Justin ran that stuff, and when they actually committed to running it consistently, the Bears look good. Not okay. They look good. When they walked Washington's ass, Washington was what, 3-3 when we played them? They weren't a losing team when we played them. And we played them on the road. They had purportedly at least a good defensive line. And we put up 40 on it. It wasn't like we had, 2 turnovers, 2 pick sixes, and a fumble recovery. That was all offense that scored. So it does seem like there's almost like someone's telling the national media people or the announcers, we want you to kind of highlight this.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of say this.
Man, I know you said you ain't see the game live, but at halftime of the game, the halftime crew on CBS was Bagent crazy. I mean, oh man, keeps playing like this. There's no way you can go back to Justin Fields. Then after the game, the motherfuckers didn't even remember the kid name. Yeah. Like, what the hell? Like, come on, man.
If you listen to the score a lot back in the day, Terry Boers used to call that out of town stupid. That's what they are.
Like
They don't really know what's going on. You
No.
know, they're seeing it from, the national look. They may catch a headline here and there, but that's it. They don't really know
man,
the ins and outs of what's going on with the Chicago Bears.
They respond to headlines. They don't know the story.
Right.
I
I
mean, it's
I'll say I like some of what Bagent did, and I would love to see the Bears keep him and develop him
That's an oxymoron. Okay.
as
Develop
a
the
number
quarterback.
two. As a two, I want him. I wouldn't mind him in the quarterback room, but I don't want him to be my starting quarterback. I don't want him to be developed as the starting quarterback. They got him for 3 years here, right? You imagine you keep him for 3, and then at the end of the deal, hey, if it works out, we want you to be our backup quarterback for the next 5, 6, 7 years down the road here, and
because that
and
yeah,
and pay him, the market rate for a backup is. That wouldn't be a bad thing,
it
right?
would.
That's the one. I think backup quarterback, man. That's the one position, man. No, you look around the league, nobody has, a great option there.
Oh, sure they do. Are you kidding me? Arizona has one. Minnesota has one. It's the same guy.
Okay, all right, yeah, same
The
guy.
same guy. Hey, I mean, hey,
He
Cleveland
did
got
win. He
one.
did win that game for him. Yeah,
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Wait, Cleveland got ours.
I don't know how he keep doing it because he don't play well in them games, but they keep winning when he out there.
I'm saying though, it wouldn't. I don't think that would be a bad thing.
No,
I know
and so
it's unrealistic because I'm sure Bagent is one of at that moment he's probably gonna want to test the market
Maybe.
yeah.
But kids from West Virginia. It's more money he's probably ever seen. I mean,
yeah. I don't
And
know.
my thing
His
is,
dad is the arm wrestling champion. I'm sure that.
They lived in West
He got
Virginia.
something.
They lived in West
500K.
Virginia.
It's a little bit of money in West Virginia somewhere.
He said he came from nothing in West Virginia and he settled on Shepherd. You got
I'm just
money.
saying. I saw Over the Top. Stallone won a big truck. That's big money there, man. I don't know what you're talking
Right.
about.
Man. And my thing is, I don't want to sound like like I said when Bagent Mania started, I did come on here and say I hope he fall flat on his face.
You did say that.
I did say that, but I did retract that last week when we talked. I said the kid can play. Like I do, I'm gonna root for him. I just don't like the
Commentary about him.
the commentary and it's very divisive. Like nothing is his fault. Everything is everyone else's fault. No matter what excuses we gave Justin Fields back then, that wasn't the case in the media. It was it was still, hey, you got to do this, and that. Like when he was in year one, we all made excuses, but he still carried some culpability in the mistakes he made, and that's the thing that bothers me. It's like no, he makes no. It, and I said this to one of my boys, like it's like one guy got to be a superhero. He got to overcome.
What? You one guy's got to be twice as good as the other guy?
You know, we know how that go. You know, he got to overcome the BS that he's faced with. And the other guy,
He can be average and it's okay.
look, the other stuff got to elevate him. You know, it's that it just bothers me, man. And I mean,
I don't know what you're implying. One guy's got to be one guy's gonna be twice as good to get half the acknowledgement.
man, it's crazy. But and then on the flip side of that, like you said, is my thing is this mania for Bagent is all fine and cool, but when Justin showed he showed to legit not be the guy, we're drafting a quarterback. So that Bagent love, he's right back on the back burner. So it's like y'all hyping him up for what? Because Alex Brown, you're hyping him up saying you do this, this, and that. But you're gonna be on the other side saying play that rookie that we draft.
He's not. I don't think Alex is saying that he's the solution. I don't think he's saying that.
Hey man, he's saying if they put some time, the way it come off to me, they put some time and effort in Beijing, we gonna be all right.
I mean,
that's how I look at
it. He can't believe that. But then again,
Kurt Warner stories out there.
Wait, they were the guys that wanted he was a part of that defense that wanted to keep Kyle Orton. That would rather have Orton than Jay Cutler.
Cutler or Grossman? What over Grossman?
Yeah, remember Cutler. The trade.
Right.
But there are people that say that had Cutler not been traded for, the Bears could have won during that time. I don't
lost their goddamn mind thinking that.
I don't know.
Insane.
Last thing, real quick, don't have to spend much time on it. Jalen Johnson requested a trade before the deadline, did not get the trade. So he's got to wait it out now. Will the Bears end up keeping him with the franchise tag or sign him to a long-term deal, or is he out of the door?
I think they franchise him.
Yeah, if they don't franchise, I'm with you. Some he'll stay either by franchise. I mean, they still got money, man. I know
plenty of money.
Sweat got his money. He's $98 million man, but I do believe that as of now, it'll change obviously with the signing. But I think as of now, I think the Bears have around
I saw something like 84,
67 million.
67. Okay.
The cap.
Wait, they gave him. He's going to have a $40 million hit. Talking about Sweat, because before that it was like 110.
I thought I saw something that said 84.
Well, I'm saying before the Sweat deal happened.
Yeah, I'm saying after he got his deal, I saw something that said 84, but I could be wrong.
All right.
I could be wrong. GM know this stuff.
Wait. If that's true, if we're down to 67, I don't know if I like this sign. Damn, that's a lot of money. But it's not my money. I ain't gonna say that. It's not my money.
It's still like slotted to be like fifth most cap space in the league. And keep in mind there are going to be some contracts that fall off too at the end of the year too. Because a lot of guys are on 1-year deals, and don't forget they re-signed Billings also too. They extended him.
Oh, that's right. They did do that.
So, but it's still a lot of money that you can do and sign players with. And that may be another thing that may lend itself to saying, okay, because we don't pick up Justin's option year, they start over again. So that whatever that new rookie quarterback contract is gives you a little more time, gives you 3 more years to try and figure it out, before you got to worry about it. So I don't know, man. But I think Jalen stays because you can't take for granted having good young cornerbacks. And he's a good young cornerback. He's not an old guy. He's got a good experience. He's not shut down, but he's solid. I'd say he's somewhere between what's the dude for Philadelphia? Somewhere between I think his ceiling would be Slay. I think he can that may be his ceiling, but I think he's no worse than Bradbury. I think he's better than Bradbury. You know what I mean? I say he's between Bradbury and Slay. That's where I would say, and that's good. I mean, that's good enough to be on a solid playoff caliber defensive team. And with the versatility that the other cornerbacks offer with Terrell Smith and Tyreek Stevenson, and you got Gordon and you got Brisker. I mean, dude, that's a solid secondary. I don't think you want to break that up at all. You can't have too many good corners because guys will get dinged up and injured as well. And you can play nickel and dime and still be really good because all those guys are outside of Eddie. They're all pretty good tacklers. So I think it gets done.
Cut.
Thursday night, what you got? Bears, Panthers.
Who started?
I'm gonna say Bagent start.
Panthers. This
Much as I don't want to agree.
Because karma's a motherfucker.
As much as I don't want to agree, I agree. Bagent start. The Panthers are probably going to be there.
I'm gonna go with the Bears. They hung with the Saints. The Panthers are not as good as the New Orleans Saints, and the Bears are at home.
The Panthers. Bryce Young also outplayed C.J. Stroud. Something to be said when you got a point to prove.
Later for C.J. Stroud, it's 56 points in fantasy.
I know.
Took me out on Sunday. Jeez.
But
DJ's gonna want to show his old. You got a guy going to go from his old teammates. But the problem is he's not the quarterback or the running back. He really has to depend on the quarterback getting the ball. And Bagent and DJ aren't quite hooking up like Fields and DJ. Fields playing, then I'm taking the Bears to win because Fields and DJ, I think they can clown Carolina. Carolina's defense isn't bad.
Burns is out though.
Oh, is he?
He's out.
He is out. I might lean towards the Bears because he's their best defensive player.
They better win if they want this number one pick.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure though.
Yeah,
sometimes
they got to do it.
Hey, I'm have to change that back because if it's Justin would be like, no, why am I going to help you find the guy that's going to replace me? Screw
Didn't
that.
Think
man.
about that.
Right.
Screw that, man. Now my thumb still hurt.
Hey, let's go to Bulls. The in-season tournament started, and they played a really good game against the Nets until the end when nobody could hit a shot. Zach LaVine. But this team is they're just so frustrating.
Same shit.
You would think this is year 3 of these guys together.
The last players or the
player of your
big ass GM.
Your big three. And well, them too. Your big three though. This is year 3 here. You would think they would have this together. I don't know, the Lonzo Ball thing that happened 2 years ago. Nobody's thinking about that now. But they just can't get right unless they're playing the Utah Jazz. But
they do this. It's the same. It's like every time it's like, okay, turn the corner. Here we go. They played a great game. They played 48 minutes. They put together 2 good halves, and that's what you're supposed to do. And they had 25 to 30 assists in the game, and they didn't shoot a lot of 3-point shots, but they shot a high percentage. They shot 7 for 17 from 3-point land, or 7 for 16 from 3-point land. They got to the free throw line and shot 50, and they'll come right back, fucking play whoever is a bad team. Say it was the Spurs last year, come right back and just like look like hot garbage. It's like no consistency. Kind of like, man, dude, they about that shit last year. They beat Boston 3 out of 4 times last year. Mm-hmm. They beat Denver twice last year.
They beat Milwaukee twice last year.
They beat Milwaukee twice and hung in like the other game, one of the other two games against them. They beat Philly finally. And then they turn around and get their ass smoked by OKC both times. Can't beat Minnesota. Can't beat, whoever
Houston.
The other best. Houston, that's the team. Couldn't beat Houston. I knew it was somewhere in Texas. Couldn't beat Houston or the Spurs. Couldn't win in the state of Texas. It's just, it doesn't make any fucking sense. They that's why they're frustrating. It's like you so backwards ass. You don't even ass backwards. You're back asswards. It just doesn't make it doesn't make any sense. And you turn right around and be like, all right, so they're gonna figure it out this year. And what do the front office do? Torrey Craig or whatever the hell his
Craig
name
and Javon
Hey,
Carter.
Torrey Craig playing some ball. You got to admit.
No, I
Man,
like
he had
them.
3 points yesterday.
Look, I like them, but they're bench guys.
One
They're
for
bench
one for
guys.
3 though, right?
We granted we know the bullshit expectations of Pat Will, but it's breaking news that he gets benched for Torrey Craig, who scores just as many points as he does in the starting lineup. Pat Will actually had 10 points off the bench. It's something to be said when you're on the floor without both Zach and goddamn DeRozan too. That's something that's
okay. So why can't he play with those guys on the floor? Why can't he play with
because they're ball stoppers. There's no ball movement when them guys are on the floor. Booch barely gets the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That the only difference I've really seen this year is they seem to be making more of a concerted effort from game to game to get Booch the ball. They're still losing.
So in that aspect, if I'm the number 4 pick on this team, I'm the 4th option with 2 guys who are ball dominant, and then you have to make a concerted effort to get the ball to that 3rd option in Booch. How do I get a rhythm in this offense?
Crash the glass. But see, it's not just I get what you're saying, but it's not just offensive.
I mean,
like,
he
don't get the boards.
I did give an excuse. I mean, not an excuse, but an observation for him. But he's a bum in my eyes.
Oh, he absolutely is.
He's a bum in my eyes now. But I think the offense ain't doing him no favors either.
No, it's not. But he don't get the boards like he should. He's supposed to be athletically. He doesn't use his size like he should. And when he gets his opportunities, he doesn't take advantage of them as like he should. And there's times he's gotten opportunities even with the other guys on the floor. And it's like, dude, stop hanging out at the 3-point line and thinking that's how you're gonna get your offense generated. Go to the basket, go along the baseline, yoke on somebody. Like he did some of that like his rookie year. And then it's just like nothing after that. And now it seems like he's so settled into it. I don't see resistance coming from him. I don't see that indignation, that fire of indignation.
Coaching.
And something to be said for coaching in the city of Chicago. I don't know about hockey as much.
Billy Donovan, I have higher expectations for him. And once he lost the point guard,
that's it.
He had nothing.
Yeah.
And the fact that he let the front office not bring him in a point guard.
That's what I was going to say. Why didn't they just go get a point guard?
They did, Carter.
Why didn't they go get a point guard?
Why haven't they gone to Europe and found somebody that hits 3-pointers and that's all they do? Why haven't they gone to the deep?
Yeah, why don't we have any shooters?
We always seem to be
and
why do laugh and joke across the world when it comes to sports.
Why do we want our guys to shoot threes? I mean,
but didn't they tell us AK did all the development and getting all these guys? That's what
he did.
Ain't brought not one in Chicago. We got fleeced.
Near body. That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude,
it was a red flag for me when we drafted Pat Will over Demi Abja. That wasn't Demi Abja. Ain't that his name?
Davida.
It was a red flag for me there because he was a European guy that was up and coming, and that screamed what everyone said this regime did for other organizations. And we passed on him for Pat Will, who was coming off the bench. So
he was coming off the bench for a reason, though. It was
we were.
He was providing the spark for Florida State.
GM actually the one that made me accept that because he called that. He called that shit when we talked about that back then. He called that. I had no idea who the hell Pat Williams was, and GM called that pick as a sleeper, and that's what we picked. And so
He's
So
he's
I was,
going. Wait, he's going to though. As soon as they get rid of him, he's gonna become a 25 and 10
no,
guy.
no, he ain't.
As soon
He
as
ain't
they
Like
gonna
get
do.
rid of
Laurie.
him,
He
just
don't do
like
it,
Laurie.
Laurie. We saw this. We saw this potential in Laurie.
No, we didn't.
Laurie wasn't a bum like this.
Shit. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Laurie
Man,
would. Laurie
Laurie
would come
had
out.
games where he'd
Wait,
give you
he'd come
20.
out. He came out and gave us 35 one night, and then gave us
When
6
his
the
pack,
next night.
when his pack gave us 20.
he's given us 20
That's given us
before.
20 before.
When we late in the season, when
Yeah,
teams
late
is
the
playing
season.
their second team and
But
is
he gave
trying
it
to go
to
to
us though.
playoffs.
But he gave it to us. Laurie gets to Utah and is a damn all-star and is breaking us off, breaking it off against the Bulls last night, scoring 29 points. Come on, man.
Laurie plays with passion now. He was like
Man.
he was just like a passionless dude here. But I mean, and Laurie admitted when he was here, just he's got a different perspective. I think he had to go through what he went through to be where he's at. Maybe the
So
same thing
we,
with
so we,
Pat.
so we the transition.
Yep,
Everybody
stepping
go
stone,
through,
baby.
go through your BS with us.
Man.
Find yourself when you leave.
Hey,
That
the playing tournament. What'd you guys think of the first games?
I mean,
Why should I care?
Uh
What? Because
Here's my
purple,
I think it's a good
purple
idea.
floors, red floors.
I think it's a good idea. The problem is it's too early in the season. And
well,
I think that their reasoning is to give us something to watch before Christmas.
It's just a basketball game.
but
You could just
yeah,
schedule it like you normally would.
But
You
but
they
don't
that's
but
wait
they
what
until
they
but
the
they don't
doing.
have a
end.
big they're gonna have a big tournament and the big Final Four in Vegas and the team is gonna get the confetti and gonna get a trophy. Do they get rings for this? You think?
I don't
You
know.
just get paid. You just
I
get money.
They just
I
get
mean,
paid no ring. Okay, but that's what it is, man. They're trying to hype up the season because usually we wait until Christmas until the NBA season officially starts.
yeah,
So I
I
get it.
like I like the concept because coming in, I didn't know how they were about to do this. I thought they were going to like pause and do like a tournament. But
Right.
no, this is just it's the regular season. It's a regular season game that goes to your final record, but it's it's positioned as a mid-season pool game.
Right.
So it's a lot of moving parts here, but it like Ed said, it makes you more in tune as the fan. Like, oh, it's a mid-season tournament game. Like, it kind of makes it more intriguing, more of a okay, we can't wait till Christmas to turn it on, you know, if we want to play for something.
If I were the NBA, I think I would do this right after the All-Star break.
Going to but going to the playoffs or the championship game of the
No. The tournament.
start the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you still do it the same way. They're regular season games, but you do it after the All-Star break because that's when it's like the dog days, man. Those late February, March games. Nobody is really paying attention
Yeah,
to
but
those, and
shit, you
that's
but
when
you
that's when
that's when they want to take their
the
foot off the
right
gas.
exactly. What do they call it? Load management.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that happens. So stick it there, and then it may create a little buzz before we get to the playoffs.
So when is the final of the?
I think December 18th. I want to say. Does that make sense?
Oh damn, it's that soon?
Yeah, it's a quick. This is a quick tournament. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Let
They
me look.
said mid-season. I thought it was gonna be like right before All-Star break.
I don't know, man.
I'm
still don't
hold
get
on.
it.
Key dates. Here we go.
See, me
No, it's
being
December. No, it's December 9th.
oh,
Is the
damn.
championship game.
So when is the next?
So they're doing it. So the next one is Friday night.
Okay.
And then after that, it's going to be Tuesday. Every Tuesday and Friday
Okay.
going forward.
But see, Glenn, I kind of understand it because that's like so understanding pool play and all that stuff, being in travel baseball. I understand it. It's just the fact that it's still a regular season game, quote unquote. But it's yeah. To understand the whole midseason tournament,
I
don't
don't
even think
see.
about don't
I don't
even think about the
understand.
regular season.
I don't understand why it's part of the regular season.
I
Just
understand why.
what we
What?
get.
Make what?
Just make the. I mean, you're not really losing games. So make the um take the season
Right.
down to, I don't know, 70. What would the number be? Uh 76 games, whatever it would be. And then, the tournament is on its own. That's what I would do. I don't know. But it's cool. Whatever.
I guess you don't want to stop the flow of the true NBA season.
But you can still do it the same way the Friday and Tuesday thing.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I don't know. I guess this is one step ahead of or one step above like a summer league uh championship like the Bulls had a few years ago. You know,
Who cares? You need to get that Larry O'Brien. I don't care about no midseason stuff.
midseason tournament. Could you imagine a
I mean, we
December
already we already
if the
on one. We
if the
ain't getting it
Bulls
nowhere.
wait if the Bulls get to the championship and we can have a parade on December 11th? I think it'll be awesome. I'm all in.
Well, we already lost our first pool play game, so
Hey, they can go 3-1 and still make it. They can still be a wild card. They can
who
still
we
be a
got
wild
next?
card. The 10th. Who the Bulls play Friday night? The Bulls are playing.
Denver again? I'm not Denver. I mean, it's Detroit again.
Wait, do they play Friday night? Oh no, their next one isn't until they play the Magic on November 17th.
No, that's a L. We know they kicks our ass all the time.
And then they play the Celtics on the November 28th.
We'll win that one.
Oh yeah, they win Boston. Absolutely.
But they probably will win that one. That's the weird
Absolutely.
thing.
That was
So yeah, let's move on real quick before we get out of here. Baseball thoughts real quick. Tim Anderson did not have his option renewed by the White Sox. He will become a free agent. TA7 gone. Thoughts on his legacy that he leaves here
Is
in
there a
Chicago?
legacy?
He was a face of baseball for a little bit there.
for a
The
year,
face of baseball?
He was. Yeah.
maybe for a year.
You mean White Sox baseball or
No,
MLB
for
baseball?
MLB.
He
I
was
say
the
for a
face
I didn't say
of
the face. I said he was a face,
Oh, okay.
I
not
give it a
the
year.
face.
I give it a
I,
year.
I
He
think is
had
that
he had a moment.
2019 and 2021. He was a face in baseball. He was.
he had a
2019.
moment.
Yeah.
When was
I think
the Field
he
of
won a
Dreams
batting
game?
title. That was
But
20. That was
but
21.
that was the year I'll say he had a he
So
was.
he won a batting title in 19 though, didn't he?
But nobody
But
knew
that
about
don't
him
mean
then.
nothing.
But that
Yeah.
he was
I mean, the
becoming that guy. And
Arizona
he had
Diamondback.
the bat flip deal, and he was a face.
Abreu won an MVP and nobody knows. The tree falls in the forest and no one knows it, and they can't make a Louisville Slugger out of it. Does anybody really know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like if he had two batting titles, maybe. I think his energy and pizzazz it was burgeoning, and it almost looked like the White Sox might have a personality. I believe, and it's going to sound shitty, but I think him being black helped in that regard to some degree because it's like there's not enough black players, African American players. They're black in terms of coloring, so to speak,
but
the
not
race,
American.
so but not ethnicity, right? You know, I mean, not nationality. Nationality wise, no, but not African American. And he was, you know, that's when that bullshit, you know, later on, it wasn't that year that you mentioned, but later on, Josh Donaldson give him shit out. Hey, Jackie Robinson. Hey, Jackie Robinson. You think you look like Jackie Robinson? You know, whatever. Um, I think, I think baseball wanted to build something around him potentially to say, hey, you know, bring some of those athletes from basketball and football back to baseball.
Mhm.
But that shit came and went so quick, man.
It crashed down like
Yeah.
like a it crashed down quick. Yeah, it didn't fluctuate like I thought it would. Like it looked like it had some momentum. It was about to get going. That
Right.
Field of Dreams moment was an amazing moment.
Yep. Yep.
And it was like, whoa, Tim is about to be a superstar.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think
And
he believed that
then
too.
boom. The next year it was like, okay,
Well,
Tim Anderson. And
I
then this year it just all hell broke loose.
yeah, I was gonna say I got some thoughts on how you can alleviate yourself from some issues. You know, social media is not always a great
and
thing.
that's undefeated, baby.
Man, you know, you got to take some control of some things, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I mean
And
he definitely played his own part
yeah, yeah,
in his demise. Like played a part in it. Like as an American born player, your lifestyle is more relatable to the American citizens.
mm-hmm.
So like what comes out about you is is going to be highlighted more so than if it came out against Fernando Tatis or some shit. You know, like he might got four wives, and well, who gives a damn? You get what I'm saying? You know, like, but, but you know, it's just it comes with the territory, though. Like, you
You
know,
know
and
what?
so
You got to let them know, hey, you know, you messing with our livelihood here. You know,
yeah,
but
Make better decisions. How about that? Still about making better decisions.
yeah, they
So
could.
having that,
Here's my thought. I don't. It was only a $14 million option. They could have brought him back for a year, right?
hey, and what's funny about this is, granted, we all don't think it'll happen. I mean, it ain't like they can't re-sign the motherfucker. I mean, we don't see it happening, but but
Yeah,
a part of a
wait,
big
the Sox put out their goodbye
I
tweets and
know,
all that
I
stuff.
saw that.
So yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's not happening.
I saw that, and in my mind, I'm like, this would be wild as hell. As if the only option for both is to bring him back.
Nah,
After.
somebody gonna pick him up. Somebody's gonna get him for that price.
But I said it all year long though. I said it before this happened that he needs a new scenery.
yeah,
He needs a new scenery. His time in Chicago has come to an end. It it's time for him to move and change the scenery and try to revitalize his career. You know, he started low, he worked his way up, and now he's back on that downward slope. He like anytime that happens in the same place, you need to go somewhere else, in my opinion. I remember sitting at a Yankee Sox game arguing with a Sox fan who was when Tim was like in year two. And he sucked. He ain't,
Yeah, he did.
and I'm like, dog. Like, first, I'm a Yankee fan, by the way, and I'm in the stadium, full blown arguing with a Sox fan about a White Sox player, and I'm on the White Sox player side. So, I'm like, dude, like, you act like it's easy to do this. Like, a young black boy on the come up, like, it ain't gonna happen overnight. Like, and then it's like right after that he start elevating. But now that elevation he's declining now. Like, so his time up is I mean, and we know the organization ain't White Sox ain't future ain't bright.
No, not at all.
Go somewhere else, change the scenery, an
Not at all.
organization that may invest in you personally, and wish him well. Wish him well.
You got a center fielder. You got one starting pitcher.
What they need to goddamn do
That's
I mean, this kind of defeats my purpose of Tim leaving. We need to get some goddamn Americans. And I said we. I ain't even a White Sox fan. But too many goddamn Latinos, in my opinion.
jeez.
How do you really feel? What did they do
Just saying,
wrong?
man. I'm just saying. Can't nobody. That's why Sox can't get no people in the seats. Ain't nobody to relate to.
What are you talking about? It's a whole bunch of Latin players and family and fans who are of a Latin background. They love White Sox.
Why they don't go to the games?
Well, ticket prices, yeah, I'll price some people sometimes. I
Ticket
can't do that.
prices. You can get Sox tickets for $10.
He ain't lying about that.
Oh, I don't know, man. I thing with Tim, I don't. You said legacy. I think you being generous. Maybe what could have been, but Tim, I'll say this. At least from what I could see, when you talked about when he was younger and he was struggling, let's not forget that I think his real close friend had been murdered or died or something like that. And I think, and then recently this past year, Tim's play really seemed to be affected by his off the field issues that he had. So I think he's a guy where anything that is personal to him that's off the field, if it's not in a good light or in a good situation or a good setting, he takes that stuff with him to the field. He is, and when I say he takes it with him, his focus, it's just he played like an unfocused player all year. Maybe towards the end, he got a little bit of refocus, but generally speaking, he played like an unfocused player the majority of the year. And when that happens, he no good to anybody. I think the White Sox are like, maybe they're not seeing him getting out of that tailspin anytime soon, so they'll cut their losses.
He still hit 296 this year.
One home run, right?
Oh no, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. I'm
about to say, dude, it's a 269. I don't remember him
I'm
being.
sorry. I was wrong. He's 245 this year. My
Yeah,
bad.
I remember him being over 270, but I'm not looking at the stats.
I was looking at the wrong column there. My bad.
What was
that
his
2021.
I was looking at his
on base percentage.
OBP was 286. Slugging was 296. That's your problem right there.
Horrible.
That's it right
God
there.
awful.
Yeah.
He only hit one home run this season, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And barely got over the wall.
That's wild.
So good luck to Timmy. That is my guy, man. I'm a miss. He was definitely somebody to root for, man.
So I end up a Yankee.
Oh, then I have to hate Tim Anderson. Oh man.
Nah, he not gonna end up a Yankee. I shortstop got to go glove. He ain't coming here.
That's bad. The Cubs made a gangster move.
Really?
They did. They went out and got Craig Counsell and then fired David Ross. The beloved David Ross, World Series winner David Ross.
Almost got to the playoffs this year, David Ross.
Man, Cubs are boy. That was a gangster move right there, man.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Craig Counsell is that like hiring like a gangster Amish guy or something?
Well, Craig
He doesn't.
Counsell,
He's
he's
kind of
been
quirky,
what
man.
the Brewers have been in the playoffs what 5 of the last 6 years, something like that.
Like
What they do
Jesse.
when they get there, though.
True that, but
Just
they get there.
Because,
yeah.
but I say that because one thing about to me when it comes to baseball, you don't see the true effect of the manager into the postseason. Over 162 games, like if your team is good, if you're a competent manager, your team is going to do okay. Like you got to be a shit manager to take talent and legit like F it up. I mean,
You
we
like the
saw
guy
that.
we had in
I
the White
was about
Sox.
to mention that. I was about to mention that. I was going to get to that. But you legit have to be a shit manager. If you're a competent manager with talent over 162 game season, you're just going to simply, for the most part, outlast most teams. But when you get to the postseason, that's when you have to show that you can coach. Like that's why a guy like Dave Robertson, Dave Roberts with the
The
Dodgers.
Dodgers, yeah.
He's a trash manager. He's literally a manager just has a unbelievable load of talent. But when it's time for him to manage, he can't do it. It's no way I'm still trotting Clayton Kershaw's ass out there. I don't give a damn what moment it is. I don't care how the respect level. Fuck that. I'm trying to win. I'm not throwing your ass out there. You on the back end when my third or fourth starter, we up in the series and I can try to sweep, or if we lose, we good. But but like so that's where I'm wondering when it comes to Craig Counsell, because yeah, he won those divisions, but when it came to postseason, what did they do? So we'll see. I mean, and since the Cubs won the World Series, the Ricketts hasn't really been. They haven't really been too much into spending the money that they have.
Well, they
They
must have
brought in.
they must have recouped it because Craig Counsell is not the highest paid manager of all time. They gave him 5 years, 40 million.
Yeah, are they gonna spend that type of money on that roster too? Though
I don't know. Maybe they go out and try to get
because
Otani.
I mean, Stroman opted out.
Yeah,
So
we'll
I hear
see.
they supposed to be high in on Otani.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You know, we all know that's not going to happen though. It's just not.
they,
Just
they
not.
they got the money, man. They got the revenue
Man,
streams now.
he not coming. He not gonna come to goddamn Chicago. We
Yeah,
don't get nice things here.
if they
Okay,
pay him.
we don't get nice things in
Well, I ain't gonna
Chicago.
say we. I'm not a Cub fan, so
I mean, I'm
I
not either, but I'm speaking on behalf of the city at this point. We don't get nice things.
hey, they won a World Series and they got
They
rid of
did
everybody, but they did win it. So
every day. It happens. Sox winning in '05.
yeah, that was damn near 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's gonna be another 100 years for both.
That's crazy. Almost 20 years ago. That's
Yeah,
just crazy.
yeah. Time flies, man. Time flies. Yo, let's get the picks. Um, good week for me and Glenn. Spoke not so much.
Man,
I went two
so
and
close.
one.
I was close on both of my games too.
You were.
I had a
You were.
chance on both of them.
Bastards.
Goddamn Dallas get to
Good
the
work.
damn
Dallas got
5 and
down there.
start
Oh,
penalty,
man.
penalty, sack. Like what the
I
fuck?
fantasy Dak is now my starting quarterback.
I started him over Herbert.
And I just needed one touchdown would have put me over the top, man.
Oh yeah, you said you went against CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
What put me over the top was I managed to make a last on the day of Sunday.
Yeah.
Before 12 o'clock games, I had Atlanta's defense because I wasn't going to play Dallas defense versus
Philly. Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that. I said, you know what? I got to make a change. And I went and traded out Atlanta's defense for the Chargers. I went into Monday night down 1 point.
That's tough. Did you watch the game and agonize?
With just the charge. No, I didn't because I got a punt return quick. So of course, your defense start with 10. So I was up. Once the game started, I was up 8. I was up 9. So I'm like, okay, I just need them to not shit the bed. But then when he ran that punt back, I said, oh yeah, I'm good. I don't even got to watch them more. They can give up 30. That punt return is gonna keep me at least at 2 points. So, but they went crazy though. But yeah.
So
I'm the low man, right?
Actually, no. You're still tied with me right now. So we're both 10 and 11 now. Glenn, you're the lead dog with 12 and 9. So since I'm still in we're tied for last, I think I'll go first. I'm gonna take Texas -10 over TCU. USC is a 15-point dog against Oregon.
Is Taylor playing? He looked like he was crying after the last game.
He was crying. He was. Wow. I'm not touching that game though. I'm gonna take the Texans plus the 7 against the Bengals. Damn, Giants are getting 16 against the Cowboys.
Cowboy about to beat the brakes off their ass. You got DeVito, whatever the hell his name playing.
He is terrible, man. Oh,
beat him by 40 with Daniel Jones.
I'm gonna take the Raiders plus the 1.5.
Who they got?
They got the Jets.
Oh yeah, that's a good bet.
Smoke, who you got?
I'm actually gonna do 2 college this week. I'm gonna go Michigan -4.5 over Penn State. I'm debating. It's crazy because last week we was talking about how Arizona they have -10.5 over Colorado this week, but I ain't taking that. I'm gonna go Alabama -10.5 over Kentucky.
Alabama.
And then NFL, I am going to take. I'm going to take Pittsburgh -3 over Green Bay. That was one that I had locked in.
Glenn, who you got?
I'm gonna go. That's weird, but I'm gonna go Crimson Tide -10.5 over there in Bluegrass State playing with the Wildcats. Sticking with college, the other team I can't ever really support in real life. I'm going to use their betting line and take Ole Miss +11 on the road between the Hedges against the Georgia Bulldog. And on one pro game, I'm going to not that certain about this one. I'm going to take the Steelers -3 at home against the Packers.
What was the line on the Ole Miss game?
11. Ole Miss is +11.
+11. All right, cool. All right, good luck, fellas. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank you all for listening. We greatly appreciate it. You catch our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you find your favorite podcast. Hey, I read somewhere Google is going to turn into YouTube podcast, or they're going to go to YouTube Music now. Guess that's good to know. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs and yours truly. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
Hey, it's like we always said. We ain't saying we're right. We just don't think we're wrong.
We'll catch you next week.
Mm.